I'm going to hit record, and Jennifer, you want to introduce yourself and tell us
Absolutely.
who you are?
Yes, I am Jennifer Showles, and I live in Greenville, South Carolina, and Belinda has been one of my best friends for, I think, about 7 years, and I was skeptic for, over a year, and finally I went to my house and I signed up, and now let's fast forward a year and a half, and it's been an amazing, amazing journey. That's what we're all on, a journey. My husband, we are just all in. Love the business platform, the fellowship, the love, the support, and that's really what I think Belinda and I hope everyone will find, that this is going to be really, hopefully, easy to follow, and we don't want to add one more thing that you have to do. Because I know we all have busy lives, and there's always some sort of training going on. But for me personally, I like when we can kind of break it down in a smaller group. For me, I tend to learn better that way. And so I hope everyone, doesn't feel that pressure, because this is all of our journey together. And came up with Climb Your Mountain, because basically, I guess that's what it is. When you think of a mountain, you think of the base, and we climb it, we reach it. But along the way, we've got to figure out everything that serves us. So for me, I'm going to create a mountain just as I vision, and your mountain can look however you vision it. But basically, I'm going to list those things that serve me now, and maybe where I want to be, or some of my goals as I'm climbing the mountain. But I think sometimes we tend to jump ahead, and we're looking too much on the long goals, where we want to, we all want to be somewhere at some point, and that's awesome. That's great. But I think for myself, trying to stick to those daily goals. What am I going to do today that's going to help me reach where I want to be? So that's something that I really have to look at myself. And I hope that this group, that we can all sort of hold each other accountable, that we're doing that. And also, and what do I have to break through? Anything that's holding me back, whether I have that fear of approaching someone when they're getting off the treadmill, or I'm at the grocery store and I see someone just struggling to walk or can hardly breathe. It's kind of stepping out of my comfort zone to approach and talk to people. So whatever your breakthrough, I've got a list of them for myself, and that's something, that I think you just really have to put a lot of thought into, is figuring out, okay, is there anything that's holding me back from reaching today's goals? So, for me, I'm going to start journaling and writing down my daily goals and trying to just achieve those. And then, we'll kind of coach towards those as, we get together and we're doing this. And I think we have to declare, small steps, very clear, very concise goals, attainable, but really focusing on the today, what we can do today. So that's sort of, what I think I just wanted to kind of put that out there. And then Belinda had some other just great ideas that, can just help each of us grow our business and grow ourselves to be better, to in all ways, you know, in all aspects of our life. So I'm just really excited, and I'm glad, you know, that we're all here and we're gonna all climb that mountain together. So, so welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that, Jennifer. And so what I wanted to share with you guys, and if you'll give me just a minute, I'm going to share my screen, and let's see. And let me know if you see this picture here.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, this is what our first exercise is going to be, and we're only going to do this kind of thing. This is going to be the template, guys. It's going to get us through our series of GoPro. It's going to get us through all the steps. But what we find is whether we're doing daily or weekly or long-term vision goals, there's something stopping us. Because at the top of our mountain, so what we're going to do is everybody's going to draw out their mountain. And your mountain is your mountain. There's a mountain that's got Sue's name on it. Jenny has a mountain. Jennifer has a mountain. Chris does. Kathleen, my mountain is not the same as yours. Jamie's, everybody's got their mountain. And inside that mountain, you want to identify the things that you've got to climb over, the things that you have to get through, the things you've got to get around in order to get to the top of that mountain. Okay, so these are, for example, I mean, I don't mind being very transparent, and I think we could be all very freeing to ourselves and to each other. To if anybody wants to share this, I think we should start up just a very small group for no other reason than to post shares. Okay, if you guys want to do that, we don't have to. There's so many groups and so many threads that, quite honestly, they're overwhelming. So I don't want to overwhelm anybody with anything. But I do find it helpful to see others and the mountains, because it triggers things inside of me, because a lot of us are going through some of the same things. So some of my things that I have to climb over is, you know, something like not scheduling personal time, but also not producing optimally during my production time. Like, I find myself thinking that I've been busy all day. Where did the day go? But then what did I actually get done? What did I accomplish? Did I wake up this morning and I have some set goals? And did I do the hardest thing first, which is, for me, typically the income producing activities? All right, what happens to me is I wake up, I turn on Facebook, and I feel like I'm in catch-up mode the rest of the day. I'm answering emails, I'm posting, right? So I'm doing a lot of different things, and then it's like busy work, but then what did I really get accomplished? Some other things that I still have to climb over is just distractions, or not planning ahead, or very little planning, or just having a greater belief in myself, and taking next steps. And like Jennifer said, getting out of comfort zones. And, you know, so everybody's got theirs. Like maybe you're still having thoughts about, well, I don't look the way I should look to be a health coach, or I don't have all the information I need in order to talk to someone, or I'm still not quite confident about this or that. Maybe it's a self-limiting thought. Maybe it's a thought about network marketing. And so, you know, maybe you're a perfectionist. That's a big one for me. Sometimes I won't do something because I have to go research it, figure out exactly the right way. It's got to be perfect. So I end up not getting it done. I mean, you look at somebody like Casey, buddy, she has a thought, bam, it's done, it's in action, and that train's left the station. She doesn't worry about perfection. So this is my personal one. And then around these, around your mountain are the things that is your feel good. Like, this is where you are striving to be. And you want to write this in a more as if it's already happened context. Okay. So, you know, if inside your mountain is, maybe you're married, and then there's like, well, how do you split that time? And what if your husband's not all into this? And what if it's just you? How do you let him know, hey, I need this time for me? Or maybe, you've got families and children, and you got things going on in your home. You have an elderly parent. You're in the middle of a move. Like we have life going on every single day. So we understand that. At the same time, so does everybody else. And so how are they getting accomplished? How are these, people with 5 kids and 3 kids and single moms coming out of rehab and homeless? How are these people getting to millionaire status so quickly, and how are they changing lives? So it's not all about the money, but it's also about our goals and what we want those to be. And if that's a few $100s a month, if that's, I want to walk the stage at Isagenix, that's your mountain. Nobody's ever going to question your mountain. So around the mountain is where you want to be. So some of my things are, multiple streams of income. I am collaborating with my guides, meaning my spiritual guides. I'm very tapped in, tuned in, and that I have continued self-love, lots of laughter and silliness. Like, this is the life that I want to live. This is where I want to be. I have structured and planned days. I'm consulting with team members. I keep a journal. I keep orderly taxes and paperwork. Oh my God, take me away. If anybody could please do that for me, raise your hand.
No.
Oh my God, I am learning to not hate paperwork. Dude, you probably can relate. We come from that corporate world. Like, if we ever see paperwork again, it's too soon.
I know. Yeah, it's a habit though.
So, does that help?
Yes.
Yep.
And like, here's another example, and I'm happy to post these. I don't know who did this one. You can see some of the things that this person has said. Lack of confidence to do great things by myself. The feeling of being weak towards others is holding. I don't know what that means. Not doing what I said I will do. Still struggling with false teachings and beliefs from childhood. Like, you can get really deep with this, because if you really stop and go, why am I where I am in my life? And it doesn't matter where you are. So, but wherever you are is where you are, right? So see this dotted line? You guys see that dotted line?
Yes.
So when you fill your mountain with things, because it's always, look, climbing a mountain, has anybody ever climbed, like gone rock climbing, or at these walls where you grab and you take a step and then you fall, and now you're holding on and you're kind of back down? So that's going to happen when you climb a mountain. It's not like every thing you pull on, you're going to have success, and you're not going to just like bound to the top. So it's going to be a journey. And so this line represents where you are in that process. So if you feel that you want to, put these in some sort of order from bottom to top, where your lines kind of, make sense that you're now fulfilling the outside of the mountain, you can do that. When I did mine, instead of a line, I just put that I'm about maybe 33% of the way there. And that's probably high. I mean, I'm probably not even there, if I was really honest, because quite honestly, I have not been setting daily goals, and look at what is at the top of what I've got to climb through inside my green. What do y'all see? Not setting daily goals. And I did this mountain, I'm embarrassed to say, in September. And quite honestly, I'm no further along, and I should already be pretty much at the top of this mountain. So that's why I want to go back and go, what happened? And I don't want us to be 6 months down the road and we're all still sitting in the same place. So wherever that place is up to you. If that, and obviously we're going to focus on Isagenix, but know that this could be valuable to you in other areas of your life. I mean, for me personally, my very next goal is 2-star. My very next goal is 2-star. My very next goal is to keep rank advancing my team members to executive state and 1 star for them. So those are my 2 goals. But see, that's a long-term goal. That's not something I can accomplish tomorrow, right? So this is where I am getting, like really having kind of an awakening here, is these daily goals. Daily goals. You know, like I want to rank advance everybody that's on this call. If you want to rank advance, if that's on your outside of your mountain, if you know, mine is assumed for me, like I don't have to put in there 2-star, 3-star, but maybe not. You know, maybe that's what's missing. I don't see it on there. I just know what that'll bring me, and that's what is around my mountain. So this is the exercise, and what do you guys think about that? You think this would be helpful? And then just take this with you, keep it in your notebook, take a picture of it, look at it, and make this a working document. And then we will start working through the Go Pro series. Now you go back and go, okay, what's going on? Why am I not achieving these goals? Now, if it becomes skill set, if it becomes like, all right, so now you've kind of just discovered that a breakthrough might be you're not using enough mentors. Because if you feel like it's skill set, there's somebody on your team that has it. There's a breakthrough. I've been holding back. Maybe it's time. I don't have time. So now we go back and we troubleshoot. Why is there not enough time? How are we organizing and scheduling time? And I think these are going to all help all of us, is what I feel like. Because I feel like I feel like a lot of the same stuff is going to be in a lot of our mountains. There's going to be a lot of individual stuff as well.
I would love to hear feedback if anyone has any feedback on your thoughts.
I really like the mountain idea. I like the second one just because you get that dotted line and you can say, okay, I'm here. But if you do happen to take a step back, you know, you can see where you're taking a step back and where you really need to work.
Right.
So I think and I'm still fairly new. You know, I'm starting to get people and starting to coach. Found that out how difficult it can be today, but it worked out for the best. But just seeing that, because not only my personal goals, but like Belinda said, you know, as you become a coach and as you have these people in your downline, your ideas start changing of how you want to help yourself, but you also realize you have to help them to help yourself. So those goals come in effect, and those can be added to your mountain. So being able to add things and take things away as life changes, that just seems really good to me.
Absolutely. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very important. That I'll never forget when I first started, and the people that were above me and my immediate sponsor, and then so many layers above me, all fell out. I didn't have a coach. Fortunately, I guess I've always been in an industry where I had to train myself anyway. So, and it was complex things, you know, finance, accounting, hedging, stuff I didn't really understand. I had to figure it out. And it was complex, regulatory environment. Our industry was tough. So I was like, oh, well, I'll just coach myself. But trust me, that wasn't the best idea. But I still got there. It just took me a lot longer. Whereas a mountain, somebody who's gone up that mountain up and down and already knows it by heart, it's like, oh my God, had you gone this path and take this route by this tree, you know, we could have helped you achieve the top of your mountain faster or with less stress, or where you wouldn't have got as discouraged or tired. And so what happened was, thank God for Casey and Cindy. Cindy Murphy and Casey saw me way down the mountain, just struggling, falling back, like, hey girl, you know, take a left by that tree, or go right by the stream, or hang on to this rock. And they showed me the way, and they literally started coaching me. And I was way down, you know, in the down line. I'm not way down, you know, but I'm pretty high up compared. But at the same time, what I'm saying is none of that would have mattered if I really had not depended on and used a mentor. And I have to like give some props to Jen. Jen, who is Jennifer Elk. You've seen her post a little bit. She's with Rodan and Fields, and she's using Isagenix for health, but it has not stopped her at all from sharing. She's kept me on coaching calls all night tonight, or well, on 3 ways. And she's not scared to step out of her comfort zone. And even though she's random fields, she knows this is a gift. So, you take things like that, and just knowing how critical it is to work with a coach, but to become one. To become one. That's what we are. That's who we are. We are coaches. We're coaching ourselves, and we're coaching the people we invite. And I personally feel we have an obligation until they tell us to stop, or they don't want it, or go away. You reach down to help somebody up the mountain. They go, nope, I'm fine where I am. And that's where you let go of expectations of other people and getting too attached. And you just match people who says, yes, can you help me? But good point, Chris, is how critical it is, because you can't keep climbing that mountain if you've got, if your goal is to, obviously we're talking Isagenix, so how are you going to get there if you're not coaching other people? You're going to be what we call a sponsor monster. And nothing wrong with that. However, everybody deserves to invite a few people. Any other comments?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I think a few things. I really like the mountain, and what I saw in there were some goals that are not the physical goals, but more mental goals, and being able to reflect the mental goals back. Okay, these are my weaknesses in these personality traits, or these things that I have to overcome to get where we are. I thought that was very good. And I like the visual of the mountain as opposed to some of the other things. That's the first time I've seen the visual. And what I really love is this coming together to help keep everybody, keep accountability, but yet the support, like you're talking about. And I love the analogy. Yeah, grab this rock or this tree and help pull us up. And so there's a lot of really strong benefits to come together as a group like this, and to bounce on ideas and sharing things and getting other aspects. So this is a very good thing. There you go.
And you can also put, your relationship goals in here. You could put your actual physical goals, because, I know for me, one of the things that is important is what David T.S. Wood called shirt off ready, meaning you could take your shirt off at any point and you're ready. Your body is a product of the products, and you make physical and spiritual, mental, emotional health all part of what balanced living is about. And so you may have some of these items in here too. And I'm a big believer in that. And I've been doing a better job myself and doing more fasting and doing my 2-day, just cleaning up my act. Started the every 30-day fitness challenge, and that's kept me dedicated with an accountability group there. So very good. And just know that as we create these mountains, feel free to change it, just like a vision board. As far as adding something, as far as taking away something, that you won't be doing that, because you'll just be moving your dotted line up, right? So if you want to kind of start with more, and it really doesn't matter so much where those things are in the dotted line. I just find that it might be more helpful if some things are a little more in order with some basic things you might want to work on right away. Maybe some of the tougher things might be more emotional. They might be more towards the top. Maybe the emotional needs to come first. I don't know. This is going to be everybody's own mountain. You guys, figure that out. But I think these would be great to put together. And Jennifer and I really didn't want to feel like this has to be every Wednesday at 8. Oh gosh, another thing. I got something Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night. Like shit. Whenever am I going to have a life or build the business? So what we're going to do is just, when a little bit of time's gone by, a week or two, whatever works out, we'll say, hey, is everybody ready for another one? Because now what I want to kind of go to is the Go Pro, and what we want to do there as well. We want to, get to that the Go Pro. If I can find that. Does everybody know where that website is?
Are you going off of the book, or is there like a different website that actually does all that?
Yes, there is a website. Hold on. It's learntogopro.com, and this is a tool that Casey has put together for us to be using. So give me 1 second. I'll pull that up really quickly and show that. Some of you already know about this site, and it's learntogopro.com. This site is laid out in specific order for completion, and I think if we all could together as an accountability group agree to everybody, not leave anybody behind, and then let's get through this first training before we proceed to the second. If we're on a mountain and it's dangerous and it's snowing and it's, have you noticed what they all do? And there's a wind, they're blind in the snowstorm, right? That lead person ties to the next person, to the next person, to the next person. It's like they don't leave anybody on that mountain to die. We could do that if you'd like, if everyone wants to commit to not holding the group back, and we'll give you plenty of time. We're not going to make this like, oh my God, this is due next week. None of that. We will make sure everybody is included, and we get through these trainings and we do the work where we are actually, I think we could be a master class, a mastermind group, and say that we put forth a mastermind series and we all did this. We accomplished it. What do you guys think about that?
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Because quite honestly, I'm not doing it the way I said I would do it.
Me neither.
I think, like you're saying, you're hearing the same kind of theme as recognizing your weaknesses, being honest with yourself about, if you can't accomplish things if you're not honest with yourself. Just, we all have strengths. Some people, are more shy about just talking to anybody here and there. I don't have that problem. But my problem is I've been out of the workforce for 6 years. So mine is kind of getting my time focused and getting used to using a computer and thinking, oh my God, I'm so illiterate. I'm just way behind. And that's the scariest part for me in the business, is kind of keeping up with all the things and going here and doing this Zoom and all these things like that I've never done before, because I'm quite frankly been used to getting up and kind of doing my own thing every day, or shop or exercise or take care of my house. I'm not used to logging on somewhere and checking emails and making phone calls and doing Facebook, back and forth conversations. And, I didn't even know how to do a lot of this 6 weeks ago. So, this is all my struggle. We're all going to have the different struggles, so that's my struggle, is being honest with myself. That's intimidating to me. These things, I feel like they're over my head, and, I've just got to learn that. I know I'm capable and I believe in myself, but, it's just getting comfortable with that and learning. And I think having other people here, we're all honest and saying, hey, these are the things I just suck at. And, get somebody else give me an idea of what you're doing every day, or how you got used to, doing these certain things, or how do you schedule your day when it's, because this is just you motivating yourself and your team motivating you. This is, a job I used to have years ago in sales. I worked out of my home. You got to motivate yourself, or you're going to be out of a job. You've got to get up and you got to do the work, and you've got to go to the appointments and get on the road and make the phone calls, and you just got to do the work, because I didn't have to, log in or talk to anybody all day long. But if I didn't produce sales, then I didn't have a job. So this is just kind of the same thing as learning how to motivate yourself, or, and am I being real about what I want out of this, and what do I need to do to get where I want to be?
I love this, Jamie. Absolutely. Because, for example, when you said, hey, I feel a little bit out of it with the computers, illiterate, and we know that you're not, but I know what you mean. When you've been 6 years and there's been so many changes in social media, so many applications, from Zoom to Periscope to just all the way we copy, paste, and create files and flyers and announcements, right? All that can be very overwhelming, just getting used to the structure of your day. But so example, then maybe inside your mountain, you would have, I'm illiterate on the computer, or whatever you would put. That's your words. You're not, but that was funny because I've watched you and it's pretty darn good. So, maybe yours inside your mountain says technology. I think now you're able, because you've identified that you can create a goal. And the goal would be, first of all, before you hit a goal, the goal is to be literate and excellent at technology. And but that's too vague, right? Like, what are these steps to take? So
Right.
Yours might be listing out, like, every time you get frustrated or you go to do something, make a note. I wish there was a way that I understood how to copy and paste this, or how do I share, or how do you know what I mean? Like, keep a list of everything that you've been scared to ask. Instead, you're sitting there spending time trying to figure it out. Well, that's precious income producing time. If this group all finds that we have a trend in something that we all can help each other with, then we will use that topic as a training on one of these mastermind groups. Because do you know how many people could be sitting where you are? I know Cindy signed someone who didn't even have a computer, didn't even have a smartphone. And all of this was new to them. Jennifer's working with someone, also not very comfortable with technology. So you're not the only one. We might find there's a little bit of a trend here.
That too could also, if someone new, say me, you came in this and you see people, that's what they're doing, and they're doing all this Zoom, and they're going on these sites and they're copying and pasting, and they're not familiar. They may think, I can't do this business. I'm not afraid to take on a challenge if it's something I really want. But so, a lot of people, that would be really intimidating to they thinking, I have to do all this, it's over my head, and they're going to immediately say, I can't do this business, and so I have to feel comfortable enough to overcome it myself before I can make somebody else feel comfortable with that hey, if I can get this, you can get this. I can teach you just the way someone taught me how to overcome this. It's not just about that. That's just your one aspect. That's your fear. That right there is your obstacle.
Yeah, absolutely. And you would end up being the best coach in that area, because you have been where they are, and you can relate to that person even more probably than somebody who's just brilliant at this. And then another thing that just made me think of, as you were bringing that up and we were discussing this, is technology isn't the only way to build this business. So we've got to really focus on daily who we interact with. Like Jennifer just said, you get off the treadmill and you see that same person on the treadmill every day. And you see that you've been going to the same gym for a year and you don't see results. And then you see that they don't show up half the time. They're getting discouraged. And How do you get the confidence to go talk with them? And I was talking to this young girl that hopefully is going to enroll real soon, and she said the same thing. She goes, I know I'm 21. She said, but I'm just not that skilled at social media, using the computer. She goes, I just don't do all that. Am I going to be able to build this business? So I think this is a very good topic, just as an example that we're discussing. And all these things go inside the mountain. All these things. If misconceptions or preconceptions about what we have to do to build this business, because remember, this type of industry is 129 plus years old. And they did not have Zoom and Periscope and Facebook and LinkedIn and Snapchat and all these sites and Instagram and Twitter. None of that existed when Avon came out. It was door-to-door sales. When Richard Bliss Brooks, who wrote the 4-Year Career, became millionaire, didn't have any of this either. It was all face-to-face, belly-to-belly. And if that's where you excel, is looking somebody in the eye, calling them on the phone, then that's how you build. Don't go, fall into the lie in our minds that you have to build on Facebook. There's a lot of people not even on Facebook. Is it easier to build on Facebook? I think it is, because we have our support group. And I also find it a little challenging if somebody's not on Facebook, because that's where our forum is. Who knows? Maybe through the necessity of a need, we create another way of really driving traffic to our individual websites. Maybe we all have in there one of the our mountains to climb is we'd like to have our own website, and we'd like to capture and create more lead funnels and drive people to our website. Maybe we'd like to use a website that's already existing, like the existing tools. Like, there's so much we need to talk about as we go through this Go Pro series and we go through this first training. So I actually am really fired up about this. Any other thoughts? Or Jennifer?
Yeah, I agree. There are so many tools that have been put in place for us to use, and it can be, and it is sometimes very overwhelming. So, I love this idea of, breaking it down to where we're all going to get it, and we can all talk about it. We can all share, and, your strengths, maybe my weaknesses, vice versa, and really learn from each other. And so I'm really excited about this. I think it'll be very, very helpful, especially for myself, so.
Yeah, and anyone who's still working on skill set, who still wants knowledge about products, about systems, training, put that in your mountain if that's something that's holding you back. Put that, and maybe we do a session and we role play. Maybe you put all your fears, or why did they say this, or here's what I had happen, and we'll work with those. But we're totally going to coach to this series, because this series is the answer, and we've got the tool right here. I know here we would all commit to watching these videos. I've watched them all, but I'd watch them all again. We all are going to commit to completing new associate interviews, and whether or not you return them to a mentor or not, I feel like we're all mentoring each other here, so that's okay. But I think when we get back on Zoom, we should hold them up and show that we completed one for ourselves, and that we're having new people that we speak with complete one as well. I started out good with that, and then I got away from it again. And Kathy Cooper says that's the number one thing. Are you doing new associate interviews with everybody you bring on? Casey's saying the same thing too. We're going to create a memory list, because I deserve totally to go back and put together a list of everybody that I deserve to go reach out and talk with. And so once we get that list together, then now maybe one of these meetings we said, hey, okay, y'all, do we want to kind of develop some scripts? Now, scripts just a point of departure, but it at least gives you something. When I first started in banking, And I had no idea what I was talking about. I had to create a script so I could call people so that it flowed. And then I had to create it in such a way that if they then got interest and started asking me questions, I knew then that I would suggest that I get the experts on the line so that we could set up a time. And that really was the purpose of my call. I'm glad you're interested. I'd like to set up a time to answer your questions. Would 2 o'clock tomorrow work? So we're going to take these scripts, if y'all would like some scripts, and we're going to work on this list, and we're going to actively call these people on our list. And so, like, I love this memory jogger, right? Look at this. Like, look at all the people we haven't thought about. First thing jumped out at me was psychiatrists and psychologists. I don't know why, but maybe I need one. Postal worker. They're usually disgruntled. Massage therapists, mechanics, Dave MacArthur, mechanic to millionaire, medical professionals, salespeople, farmers. Like this just really is a great tool.
So Belinda, do you have a template for like the one that you did, the mountain you did? Or do I need to break out my artistic skills?
Oh, I don't. I don't even remember how I did it, quite honestly. But you could just draw it out. It doesn't matter. You can just draw it. In fact, probably that's even better. Most people, all the ones that I saw were drawn. There are just a couple that did it on the computer. I'd probably use, something like PowerPoint. Paint, like any of those would be great. And if anybody ever wants some skill set training on tools like PowerPoint, then that's fine too. We can do that.
Just to throw that in there, Belinda,
pencil for me.
You were talking about the skill set training, and Jamie's talking about a lot of the technology stuff. I went to school for network engineering and computer stuff, and that's what I have my degree in. So if we want to do that, I can help set that up where we can do training for, like you're talking about, PowerPoint and using different things like that to be able to help people that aren't, more technologically advanced. I've run into a couple of older.
Go ahead and say it, Chris.
No offense, but older people that just don't use computers and don't find it.
Okay, nobody said old.
Yeah. We're talking about age.
Well, I just saying, I'm trying to use an example. But yeah, I can help with a lot of that training. Once we get.
Call me stupid. Don't call me old, Chris.
I'm not calling anybody else. Okay, look, if you're older than me, then to me you're old, and I'm pretty sure I'm the youngest in the room right now. So.
Well, thank you for that. We will definitely take you up on that. So as we see things that, you guys put feedback, and that's why I say, how would you guys like to do feedback ongoing so that when we get together, we now have a plan? Would you like for us to do it, just keep us in a thread, or do you want us to do a little group where we can post and keep these files, and I can set up files in a group? I don't want to add another group, but if it's a group that truly has a purpose, you just go to it, as needed. It's not something you have to check every day. If that's helpful, we can all put our mountains in there. We can put some, if we're having a training on skill set, then when we're done, we'll put the links in there. The recordings of these can go in there. You guys let me know if that would work for you, Jennifer, and I would like to know if that would work for you guys.
I like that idea.
Yeah, I do too.
Okay. So I think what we want to do next, Jennifer, is what do you think? Just give everybody kind of time to work on their mountains. Did we lose Jennifer?
She's muted.
Sorry,
There you go.
my home phone was ringing. Sorry. No, yeah, I think that is a perfect idea. And just remember, it's your mountain. We're all gonna have some, like you said, Belinda, some, relationship, business, whatever you want to put on there. But yeah, I like the idea of all of this.
Awesome. All right. So, and we'll do a little, a group and start kind of summarizing the coaching and putting our whatever you want to put in that, the follow-up and so forth. And that's also where we will announce the next get together. And we'll always try to do it where everybody can participate, but we'll record these if you cannot. And so our first, do you guys feel that putting these mountains together is going to take some deep digging? You're going to be dealing with some emotional, some beliefs, some paradigms, some programming, some, the childhood issues. You're going to be dealing with some current personal issues, some challenges, because you got to be real honest on what's going on. One of mine can be laziness. Sometimes I feel lazy. I don't really have a reason, because at 55 years old, you sometimes get tired.
Amen to that.
You've earned it.
I've earned it. And I've worked my ass off my whole life. And I'm like, dang, I've only got 4 more years, 4-year career. So,
Chris, you're not there yet. You can't be lazy. You're not in the old group.
That's right.
Oh.
So, and I have to develop better habits. Like, I like to stay up late, sleep in late. Not saying you can't produce that way. Casey's a night owl too. But I also feel like if I were doing that and producing, it'd be one thing, but I'm not producing the way I should, and I'm waking up with guilt. That's not good. I got to stop that. So start catching the guilt cycles you find yourself in. If you're like me, you may not have that going on, but definitely we have to address our business goals. This is our business. Where do you want to see your business go to? It's wherever you want it to go, but we got to put that in there, and then we got to start coaching to the goals, and we got to break down the steps to the goals, and then the skills needed to the goals, the emotional breakthroughs to the goals. And then, like Jennifer said, it's these small daily steps, man, these small daily steps, like daily. Like, it's one thing for me to say, I want to enroll 2 people this week. Well, what is it I got to do to make sure I get 2 people? I may have to call 20. You don't call 2 people and go, well, I didn't hit my goals. And Jamie, you brought up a very good point. When you have a job, and I've been in commission sales my whole life, if I didn't produce, I didn't have a job.
Yeah.
So isn't it amazing that I will get up and have that and bust my butt for somebody else?
Yeah. It's a lot harder motivating, doing it yourself, being self-motivated. That's,
I think that's all about starting to treat it like the multi-billion-dollar business it is, instead of a hobby. And
right.
I think we all fall into that. I'm trying to do this and whatever. But if you can reframe it in your mind, I think, and say, okay, if somebody hired me, because I've been a loyal employee my whole life, if somebody hired me to run their Isagenix business, what would I do? Well, I would get up first thing in the morning, I'd log on, I'd be making calls, I'd make sure I was scheduling meetings, I'd get, I'd have goals, I'd get things done. That's what I would do if it was somebody hiring me. So why should this be different? On the other hand, too, if I invested in my own business, like if I were, investing in a franchise or a small business owner or whatever, what would I do? Well, I would get up, I'd get there, I'd get the coffee on, I'd turn on the lights, I'd make sure I was calling people. Those are the kinds of things you do if you were looking at this as your business instead of we're dabbling in this. And so I think you have to reframe it in your head as, as really what it is. You're holding this, this is
That's great. That's great.
Excellent.
That's really good.
Excellent point.
Yeah,
Thank you for that.
Sue is really a very successful professional. She's
So nice. No one.
yeah, you are. I mean, I met Sue through a friend, and she's often hired and contracted based on her skill set and ability. She gets things done, and she's worked in HR, a lot of areas that are very critical, demanding. And, you know, Sue, we really look forward to hearing more from you and your feedback and your growth and what you can share with us, because so many of us deserve to look at it for exactly what it is. This is our business, and it is a multi-billion-dollar business. And if somebody hired me, I know how I am. Whenever I got hired, I always was that little girl that almost like just wanted to pat on the head to go show them my accomplishments for the week. Well, how many calls did you make? And I could pull out a call report and go, I called all these people. I got this voicemail. Here's my follow-up. Like, I had everything. So
everything you need, I did it. Like, I'm on it. So why would I do differently for myself? That's just it. Why would
you know, this is inspiring me right now to just from that conversation with you to go do that.
Yeah.
Maybe if we want to do like our own little call reports, like we all work for some imaginary boss like Charlie's Angels. And we go show our call reports each week. We like just for accountability, because it makes us realize, because if we don't, we're probably going to get fired. Well, who fires us? Really, we've just kind of fired ourselves.
Right.
True.
But this is can kind of be used, like my husband has his own business, and at one time he had, you know, many salesmen, and he said nothing created a better salesman than having a lot of other salesmen in there. And when one of them's coming in, man, I got this going on, and I made 15 phone calls in the last hour, and I have these appointments, and I just sold these 10 trailers, and I just made this much money. Nothing starts motivating the other people around them is when they feel that pressure of, God, they're getting ahead of me. They're, you know, if they're doing, you know, that he said really stirred up. If people get lazy, he would start saying, okay, $100, anybody that sells a, you know, trailer, just do something to shake it up and encourage. And when one starts going at it, it makes everybody sort of start competing against each other, and before you know it, everybody's producing. So, you know, I think that's a lot of what this group can be used for, is just, you know, sharing what we're doing and, you know, kind of motivating each other and kind of encouraging that healthy competition.
I love it.
Yeah, like a domino effect.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I love it.
So, Belinda, are you paying out the bonus for?
Cards.
Once I get a mattress. Y'all know this little condo I bought is really nice, and I'm enjoying glamping inside of it because I finally got a bed. Woo! But,
Yay!
I don't have a box spring or a mattress, so I have a $7 Walmart blow up here.
That's okay.
All I can say though is I've seen all the beach pictures, and I'm kind of jealous right now. So even though you just have a blow up mattress.
Yes, who's looking at your bed? We're looking at the beach.
Let me tell you thing, and it's what has kept me fired up, because I did take $60,000 of my Isagenix earnings and bought this condo. So dreams do come true. And now, you know, that knocked me back down my mountain financially, and it's fired me back up like, oh no, I got to get back, right? So it has fueled me. And I'm very focused, and this group means a lot to me. And I feel like Sue, Jamie, Chris, Jennifer, Casey, Donna, everybody that's listening in, let's do this. Let's do this. And if you feel like at some point, you know, that you got to check out, we still love you, man. You just, you know, we're always going to have these recorded. The group's going to be there, but we're committing. We're not leaving anybody behind that doesn't want to get left behind. If you don't want to get left behind and you just need to keep coming clean, come clean. Be transparent. You're safe here. That's the number one thing I want everybody to know, how safe you are here. Nobody's going to judge you. Nobody's going to say, well, he's not doing the program. He didn't even say, like, nobody. We love you. We're a team.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love it. And I like the smaller group. You know, there's so many threads going on where it seems like a lot of people are getting added, but most of them aren't putting anything in there. They're kind of just watching, and they're not helping and putting theirs. So with us going down to this little smaller group and actually going to help each other, everybody's going to be involved. You know, it makes you more hyped to be like, okay, well, I've got this group with me. I want to help. I want to be good for them. So I'm going to do what I can. I'm going to do my part. So I like it, and I'm all in for this.
That's great. Me too. I tell you, I like the small group. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's no indication that I can. But anyway, this is my first Zoom, and this is really neat. And I concur with what Chris is saying. The smaller group is, hey, Chris, you're big on my screen. But anyway, and to keep it, because, you know, when we start sharing things, we're going to create a bond, and that's going to be, you know, this bond between us is going to be very special, you know, and we're going to have to trust each other and expose things to each other. And it's going to be very it's going to be I'm looking forward to a very positive growth, not only in my business, but in my overall life. So yeah, thank you for putting this together, you guys.
Awesome.
Yes, love this.
And listen, Sue, you may be able to come up with some ideas like, I don't know, like I just love where somebody like Alex Hoffman can come out and say, I grew my business 438%. Right? Who can say that right now, how much you've grown your business? Maybe we need to put some stats to it and some measurements. Maybe that would be fun, because then we can start posting some results in the opportunity thread. We can get other members on our team fired up, but we can help each other be accountable. Like Jamie was saying, nothing fires up another salesperson than when somebody comes in and they're like, oh my God, I doubled the number of enrollments this week from last week. I grew my business X% from 1 year ago. I personally am going to start posting some sales calls, my reports, where I've tracked my reports in our group. You don't have to do it, but I want to be held accountable. I want you guys to hold me accountable. I'm asking for it. Okay.
You got it.
So hold me accountable. You know, what are my goals? I'm going to post my goals in there for the week. And if I don't, I'll just lie to you. Now I'm teaching. I'll just say, man, I did not get it done. No excuses, and that's just where I let go and I slipped and I fell back down the mountain because something came in. That goes back to what's inside that mountain. What happened? What came in? What blocked me? What stopped me? Did I go back to some old patterns? If you got to turn your TV off, if you have to, whatever we have to do, if things that aren't serving you, that are still in your life, whatever those things are, you will figure it out because you're climbing your mountains. So, well, that's pretty much all I have. My takeaway from tonight is that we will all do our mountain. And if anybody, first of all, I'll start a group. Climb your mountain, is that what we want to call that?
Yes.
Okay. And we're going to make it a private group. Climb your mountain. And we can make our mountains. And anybody who would like to put those in there, please post those. Also, you can take a picture of it, however you want to do it.
And are we just gonna get rid of the thread and then we'll have just that closed private group, the Facebook?
if there are threads open and there's people in those threads who aren't here tonight, if you
Well, yeah, definitely until, yeah.
so maybe eventually we do, Jennifer, and just, you know, as new people come in, the thread might be useful to just every now and then update, just post and say, listen, we do have a mastermind group. If you'd like to participate, you would have to get caught up, and then at some point, you know what's going to happen? This thing will branch out where now you're coaching. You are coaching to these newcomers coming into the group, and you're starting to duplicate this series.
Yeah.
Even if you use these videos right here in the duplication, and you watch these videos together with the person, or you play this video, or you do your own, but we'll figure all that out.
I like it.
So we'll do our mountain, and we will, I'm going to put my goals in there for, you know, Monday, next week, starting next week. Just so I could get my act together between now and Monday. Or, you know, Sunday, well, let's see, should I do Sunday? Let's just say by Monday we should have our goals in there. Actually, by Sunday, right? A good person kind of is prepped for the week by Sunday before, like, you know what your goals are. Most of your business leaders, they don't go into their Mondays and set their goals. They kind of have their goals figured out by Sunday. What do you guys think about that?
You're talking like week?
Like on a weekly basis, maybe?
Uh-huh.
I might have mine in there. I do leave Saturday to go to the beach for a week. So I'm going to try my best to get it in there, you know, over this weekend. Even while I'm at the beach, I still want to get it in there, but just in case it's not.
Well, you guys tell me. We don't want to leave anybody behind. Would you guys like to get your mountain and your first week's goals in by a certain date?
Well, let's see if this
I'm
is
good with Monday, everybody else.
So when you say get it in there, are you meaning posting it or just doing it?
Either way.
Okay, whatever works for, okay.
Right. Like me personally, I'm going to post mine because that makes me do it.
Right.
That's me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That goes back to holding each other accountable. You know, we're making sure if you post it, then you can't lie about it and say you didn't. I'm not saying anybody's going to, but, you know, it says, okay, I did this, and I know that everybody else is doing it as well.
Yeah.
I think so. I think if we all post it, then it's there. If everybody's consistent doing the same thing, it's just kind of the rule. You know, if we don't have like a guideline, then it just starts getting into a gray area. So
yeah, it becomes another ineffective group.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about it, I mean, the masterminds that I've been involved with before, I mean, we're going to put a time into this. I mean, for me to come and do this, it's got to be effective and worth my time. And for me to be accountable to you guys and show that accountability, I think it's important for that because that means that, okay, this is worth my time. And you know, of course, here I am talking, and I know that watching another series on Netflix or whatever is worth my time. But that's what I'm trying to get past, right? So
One of your goals. Dan.
right, and that's one of my goals and everything. So, but right, I think we need to be accountable and say, yeah, we're going to do this. This is what we're going to do, and everybody do it. And then if we don't do it, and I know, Belinda, you were saying we're not going to be, you know, harping on anybody, but maybe we need a little harping on, you know.
Little kick in the ass every now and then.
Yeah, I mean, and then one of the things I was curious to, let's talk about how, you know, we talked about our group, and we're gonna have it private, but is it gonna grow, or how are we gonna keep it small? I know Chris was talking about he likes a smaller group. I do too. I mean, normally.
So we're going to have like a number, say there's 20 people, 25 people. We need to have maybe a number is what you're asking for of.
Well, I'm
members.
just saying because
Or I think what you're saying, Dyke, like if you're exposing yourself or opening yourself up to maybe some of your own issues or struggles, you may not want that broadcast to other people, or when you're training someone, just kind of keeping it within the group.
Thank you. That's exactly right. And everybody,
To have that safety net.
Yeah, and there's like a little certain degrees of separation, because I don't really know you guys that well, and that is good a little bit. I mean, I will get to know everybody well, but people that I bring into the company or whatever, I mean, I may not want them to know all this stuff that I may feel comfortable sharing with you guys.
So my take on this is I've been involved in a lot of mastermind groups, and typically you start and finish with the same people.
Yeah. I mean,
okay. And what you have the opportunity to do is new people come along, then now you have an opportunity to personally coach them. In other words, as you're being coached, you can go back and coach them, and if you choose to. Now, this Learn to Go Pro series, we got 10,000 people in our Facebook group, the Have It All Dream Team. But have you ever noticed how many people are in the Have It All Opportunity and Freedom? It's not even, what is it, 2,000 or 3,000? And then out of those, how many are showing up for Casey's Go Pro series?
Yeah.
How many?
I think the easiest way is if we keep our mastermind group that we have here, and then do keep one of the threads open for those new people. That way we can keep our stuff with us. But if we need help coaching other people or new people, we have that thread to fall back onto to bring them into that, and then coach them there using all the people that are here in that. So it keeps it separate, but we still have that fall back onto to help each other coach new people.
Exactly. So I kind of like keeping the group where it is. Now, there might have been one or two that deserve to be here with us that are leaders that are very much wanted to, like, for example, Erin, she did have a launch party tonight. So you may see one more, maybe
and
two.
Marla, she may want to be, she's at the beach with her family. So she may or may not, want to participate, but I definitely want to give her the opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. Those people that were in that original invite, they have.
My friend Natalie's in the group. She wants to learn and she wants to be a part of this too, but she had to go to work at 7. So
and I saw her post.
Watch the video.
Yeah.
Right. So we'll have maybe 4 more probably join us, and I think that's going to be a gracious plenty to start, and then we'll use the regular threads, the one-on-one communication with other people that you want to get going. Hey, Jenny, I know Kristen was also invited, but I don't know if tonight she was working. She had a schedule conflict.
She did. She had a schedule conflict. She said she would be home in time to catch some of it, but apparently not.
Yeah, so no worries. At some point, if she reaches back out and says, hey, I want to get in that, obviously she's in too. She was in the original invite. So we're going to proceed and keep it to this group because I feel like it's going to be more effective. We're going to keep everything in confidence. Anything that you see other people sharing inside their mountain is not to be discussed outside of our group. So let's just have some nice little, loving rules here. And grounds for trust.
Yeah.
Very important. Very, very important. So we'll do that, and that way you can feel free to post your mountain, and let's get our first week's goals, and then we want to review number 1 section, first training of the Learn to Go Pro site. So that's what we have. Would you guys want to look at our next meeting to now go over everything and see where we are, with knowing that's our assignment in 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks? You guys kind of pick a date, and if we have to move the date, if we weren't thinking about something, it didn't work out, we will move this date and time to make sure we get everybody on here. Or would you rather, I feel like we should at least have a date before we hang up.
I think a couple of weeks.
I like that. I think that's
Is that okay?
Yeah, I do too.
Everyone?
Every 2 weeks. Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, 2 weeks is good
With-
because it keeps
especially
it
with
congruent.
summer, people traveling and doing different things, family things. I'm going to get my agenda.
So maybe July 6th, we can just kind of put that on there for now, and if we need to adjust that a little bit, we can.
I'm yes for that.
That sounds good.
I know a lot of us don't know what's going on July 6th, but also we also deserve to plan further out, and we also deserve to, make this priority if we can, because it is. So if this, but if we have to adjust it, we will, right? All right, so we'll just put July 6th for now, and then we can talk about that later.
Does everybody in this group live in the general area, or I know Belinda, you said you live in Greenville. Does everybody else kind of live in the general area?
I'm in Charlotte.
Okay.
I'm in Greenwood.
I'm in Union.
I'm in
Chicago.
New York.
I'm the outlier.
Okay.
I'm the Midwest connection, I think.
Yay for Chicago!
Chi-town. Yeah.
And I'm in Spartanburg, South Carolina, so.
And then we have 2 in the Washington, Winnie, North Carolina area. We got Donna, Myra, and Jen Elks. Hey, Jen.
Is
And
Kathleen on here?
Yes.
there.
Okay. Hey. Wait, look at your stack of stuff over there behind you. Love that.
Thank you.
And Kathy in New York. So, all right, guys, great call. I'm excited about this. I'm going to let you all guys off now unless anybody has anything else. I know there is the training tonight, business training. Casey usually does it. I'm not sure who's on the webinar tonight to do that, if that was even posted. Did you guys see anything on that from Wednesday night training?
I haven't.
I didn't either. That is recorded if we can't get on that, but that's all I've got. I'm excited. I'm thrilled about our mastermind group, and we will see you guys again on July 6th at 8 o'clock, unless we post otherwise. We look forward to seeing you.
Absolutely.
Homework assignments, and love you all.
Love
Thank
you guys
you.
too.
Good
Have a
night.
great couple of
Good night.
weeks. Safe
Good night, everybody.
travels. Bye.
Have a good time in Arizona, Jen.
Yay!
Even though we'll miss you here.
Oh yeah. Gotta go take some hotness out there.
I hear you.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.